102-17. That's the composite score for Tulane football this year against a couple pretty good football teams in taking on Duke and Georgia Tech out of the ACC. We bring in Ryne Hancock from Armchair All-Americans. He's also got a podcast that he will tell us about and radio show as well. Ryne, thanks so much for joining us, man.
How you doing, man? How you doing this morning? How you doing this afternoon?
Great. I appreciate you jumping on here and letting us know what's going on. So, yeah, 65-10 is a pretty good beatdown. You did play a very difficult team out of the ACC with a veteran quarterback in Justin Thomas. Your quick evaluation of the game before we kind of dive into it.
Well, I think one of the things, I think what you're seeing, and granted, Georgia Tech is a very, very good team. I kind of see them winning the ACC this year. I hate the option offense, but Paul Johnson has made it work at Georgia Tech. He's been successful with it. He's won an ACC championship, and since he's gotten an ACC championship, he's played in a couple of ACC championship games. So I'm not surprised at the fact that Georgia Tech did what they did to Tulane. What I am shocked at is that at the lack of development that this team has, the lack of understanding basic elementary football techniques, especially snapping the ball on special teams, just basic fundamental football things. That's what I'm more appalled at, as opposed to them getting blown out the way that they got blown out.
So you're seeing the same issues this year as you've seen last year and the last couple of years. So you're seeing no improvement.
There's no improvement. I mean, the offense is anemic. Tanner Lee, I mean, it's like this. It's like, I feel like, because I grew up in Memphis. I saw this with the Larry Porter era, or should I say error, in Memphis. What you see is a team that is coached by a guy who is in over his head. What you see is an offense that is anemic, and a lights out defense. If you look at what the line for Georgia Tech at Tulane was 30 points, and there is no way in the world a team, an FBS team, should let a team score 65 points on them. There's just no way. And I kind of started to realize yesterday that this team has, I think, in my opinion, has quit on Curtis Johnson. I personally believe that.
So you mentioned the defense, and when you say lights out, giving up, let's see, about 450 or so on the ground, 571 total offense to Georgia Tech yesterday. When you say lights out on defense, you're good with the defensive play?
In spots, I think Pari Nickerson is a very good player. I think Nico Marley, Bob Marley's grandson, is a great player. The problem is they're getting cheated out. They're getting cheated out of success by bad coaching. They can only do so much. When your offense, I played quarterback in middle school. I was a quarterback. My coach used to always tell us, the offense has to help the defense out. Okay? The defense has to help the offense out. When the defense is out for 7-8 minute drives, it hurts the offense. It hurts the offense. And that's the problem with Tulane. That's been the problem with Tulane. The offense isn't helping the defense out. The defense can only do so much. When your offense is not moving the ball well, and yes, there was you did see some progress, some sort of glimpse of hope with Devin Bro. Even though you did see some sort of hope, it still goes to show you that this team is not a well-coached team. This is not a well-coached team, and I just frankly believe yesterday, I think those guys basically quit on Curtis Johnson.
Well, that's the ultimate indictment against a head coach when the team quits, regardless of the talent level. So you mentioned Devin Breaux. He caught 4 for 87 and a touchdown yesterday. We know the talent in Louisiana. We know that the per capita of elite college football players and NFL players is extremely high in that part of the country. So where are these kids coming from on the roster?
Most of these kids, Curtis Johnson has done well recruiting New Orleans, the New Orleans area, St. John the Baptist, St. Bernard Parish areas. He's done a great job of recruiting Louisiana. But the thing about it here, and this is what people have to understand about Tulane, and this is something that I was told to yesterday by a guy who's lived here longer than I have. Kids don't look at Tulane as the second or even third choice when it comes to schools in this state. They mainly look at LSU, ULL, Louisiana Tech, and even to a lesser degree, Louisiana Monroe. You look at what Todd Berry has done. The thing about it is Tulane administrators, and it's been going on for many years, even before I was born, they view football and they view athletics as a whole as a hobby. When you have a program that is viewed as a hobby, that's not good for that's not good for you if you're a recruit. And if you don't believe me, I remember, like, I was at the game on last Thursday when they played Duke. I remember talking to somebody. They said that everybody that was in the student section, they left when the game got out of hand. And in a city like New Orleans, where there's a lot of disposable income, where there's a lot of things to do here, if you don't win and you have kids that are not from New Orleans that don't really understand Tulane football, if you don't win, people are not going to care. They're just not going to care. It's just like if, Miami back in the before they got good with Howard Schnellenberger. In a city, you have to win. You have to win. You have to generate some sort of interest. Yes, you have a brand new stadium that people, even in the area in New Orleans, in the area that Tulane is in, didn't even want to get built. But if you don't win and if you don't have something that generates some kind of interest, people are not going to go. Yes, it's a brand new stadium, but winning and something that gauges the interest of people in the city, those things are paramount. And I think it's not a Curtis Johnson problem. It's a problem that starts at the top with the administration and with Rick Dixon, who has been the athletic director there for 15 years.
Okay, so you just answered my next question. How does this thing get fixed then?
I think what you have to do is make a complete overhaul. You have to get rid of Curtis Johnson and you have to get rid of Rick Dixon, because Rick Dixon is holding Tulane back. He's holding Tulane football back, mainly in general sports. Okay, sports are supposed to be the biggest window to your university. Yes, Tulane is a great academic school. I had a scholarship to go here. I could have went to Tulane when I graduated high school, but I made a decision to go to another school. But I understand that athletics is the window to any university. It's the biggest window to any university. Yes, you have a great engineering program. You have a great public service program. You have great academics. But when you don't have athletics that are not worth a window to throw piss out of, guess what? You have no chance of success. And if you don't believe me, I grew up in Memphis. I lived in Memphis. A lot of people who went to the University of Memphis, who's been to the University of Memphis in the last 10, 15 years, they went because they remember the Derrick Rose Final Four team. They went because they knew about Tyreek Evans. Same with Kentucky. They went because they didn't go because of academics. They went because they knew about the basketball program. They knew about Anthony Davis. They knew about DeMarcus Cousins. They knew about John Wall. Those things generate applicants to your university. And Tulane still has this archaic model of how they do athletics. And it has hurt Tulane athletics for almost 70 years.
Okay, Ryne Hancock joining us. We appreciate the breakdown, Ryne. Where can we find you? I want you to give us a rundown of where all the outlets we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at rhancock19. Also, check out Armchair All-Americans, the armchairallamericans.com. Also, the Porter Street Social Football Club. We're on the Happy Hour Radio Network this week. Next week, September 22nd, we go back to our old roots, Double Overtime Radio. We'll have the link out. Our website is psfbsc.wordpress.com.
All right, Ryne.
To talk to you, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate you breaking things down, and here's to hoping things get better at Tulane.
No problem. Thank you so much.